Hello and welcome back to the last game of today's series of the GG League, the Good Gaming League, season number 2. It's going to be Goomba Gaming versus House of Gamers in this game number 3 of this best of 3 series. So we'll see who will fall out of the tournament, who will advance to the next round. We're of course HeflaTV, your English coverage. I am Coucher, and once again I'm joined by GrandisV. Do you think we're gonna get another long game with a Medusa, or are we seeing something different?
Honestly, I have no idea, and I think that either team could go for something like a Medusa, and maybe it is going to be dragged out to insanely long proportions. Last game wasn't super long, but it was still pretty exciting to watch a game where it could actually be a comeback from Mega Creeps. It didn't end up working out for Goomba Gaming, but in the end it was fairly good to watch. Divine Rapier, Crystal Maiden, and what have you. Definitely recommend watching the VOD if you're just joining us here. Scarlet Mage is going to be the first pick for House of Gamers, as it is left in the pool. Even though it's not up against the Brewmaster, still a solid first support pick.
Definitely is. And Goomba now, do they go with what they've ran previously, or do they go for something different? Tidehunter is available for themselves this time around if they want to grab that one up. Definitely a strong enough hero that you should put some focus on him maybe. If not, I'm pretty certain that House of Gamers will be more than happy to pick it up for themselves, having ran it already 2 games in a row. So Goomba, what's it gonna be? Ogre, Tidehunter? I guess they can really go for anything at all, anything that tickles their fancy. Most likely not a Phoenix though.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Chill's performance on the Phoenix, it wasn't bad, but I still think that hero is a little more situational than what a lot of teams have been showing inside the draft. And we're probably going to see Phoenix every once in a while, but not until the enemy team shows what they're going to be throwing towards the safe lane. And I think Tidehunter is just all around a lot safer as an offlaner. For Goomba Gaming, it's going to be a Jakiro and Ogre Magi opener, and House of Gamers, if they want it, Tidehunter is available.
We'll see if they still think it's a strong enough hero, or maybe with the Scarlet Mage opening, they're planning for something else entirely. And they do go for that Sand King. So we're gonna see something else coming out of House of Gamers. Goomba, in game number 1, they also ran a Jakiro, but of course, they also had a Death Prophet in that game. So definitely had a bit of a stronger push. Although they can still go for Lycan, Nature Prophet, anything along those lines if they want to strengthen their push, just end this game early. Although, if Goomba should go for a heavy pushing strategy, Sand King is not a bad hero to just kind of stop that once you get the Blink Dagger. The threat of a Blink Epicenter, especially if you're trying to break high ground, it's just so hard to go up against.
Yeah, usually Sand King a really passive support, but when combined with the Scarlet Mage, can go aggressively, and we have potentially all 4 of our supports already picked up, so the bans are going to be very heavily slanted towards the core heroes in the second banning stage. I expect Tidehunter to be taken out by either side, maybe not by Goomba, as they'd probably like to have that at their disposal. There is the potential that we see a core Jakiro, but then again, it could also just be a support. Usually pick up this early, it is usually going to be involved in some sort of try or dueling.
Yeah, I think last time around as well, they ran like a dual offlane with Ogre Jakiro. So they have the 2 heroes already picked up, so they might go for it. As House of Gamers finding out 2 illusion based heroes, Terrorblade and the Naga Siren. Naga Siren I think a little bit scarier, or well, it's questionable, or in some cases Terrorblade is way stronger, but Naga Siren is a little bit more stable. Not that easy to pick her off in the early game. Just Terrorblade's health pool is horrible to begin with. But Goomba, Necrophos taken out. I guess it's just all in all an annoying hero. Is the Necrophos ban just... does it indicate something that Goomba wants to go for, or is it just a general ban?
I don't think so. Necrophos is just such an annoying hero to play up against. The mechanic coming out from Reaper's Scythe, if you get to kill that extra 30 seconds, is so annoying. And then late game with Aghanim Scepter, it's really hard to work around Necrophos. He's not necessarily the strongest of heroes, but if he ever gets the items, he can completely turn the game on its head. And that type of game warping is just something that a lot of teams don't want to deal with, kind of similar to an IO pick. Goomba Gaming, if they want it, Tidehunter is available. But as you said, this could just be Jakiro and Ogre Magi offlane. It's their turn to kind of angle the draft one way or another.
To be honest, had House of Gamers gotten their hands on the Necrophos with a Sand King Burrow Strike followed by a Mystic Flare and then into Reaper's Scythe, pretty much nobody would have been able to survive that either. And thinking about along those lines, we might even see something like a Legion Commander come out from House of Gamers. if they're a team to play a hero as such. But I'm going for an Ember Spirit at the moment. Worked out fine for them in game number 2, so why not go for it again, I guess, as Goomba picking up a Vengeful Spirit. So Chikiro is almost certainly gonna be a core of some sort, whether it be offlane, dual offlane, like we mentioned, or we shall see. But the 4th pick about to come, they need to start picking up their own cores or just mid and safe laners.
Yeah. This could also just be our tri-lane. Jakiro, Ogre Magi, and Vengeful Spirit. Just so much lockdown and damage between those 3. I wouldn't be opposed to that either, should the game require it. But it is almost 100% confirmed that those are, at least in some combination, way, shape, or form, 2 of our supports in 1 core. We are going to see Goomba Gaming using a lot of the reserve time for this next decision. I don't think you can really go wrong with the Tidehunter, but then again, if they are going to lane that Jakiro towards the offlane, maybe they'll shy away from it. Ember Spirit in mid isn't necessarily a very good hero at dominating that lane. Although Razor and Viper are already taken out, they're going to go for a Phantom Assassin.
Oh, once the Phantom Assassin gets a BKB, he's going to be perfectly fine. Before that point, though, might struggle a little bit. I mean, House of Gamers, they don't have the crazy amount of physical damage coming out, so the blur won't be a huge issue for them, at least in the earlier stages. So just Burrow Strike, Mystic Flare, Phantom Assassin has to be careful of that. But with the Vengeance Aura and the Bloodlust boosting him up, it's going to be rather scary, and they still have the space for a Medusa as well if they really want to go for it 3 games in a row for Goomba. Also a Medusa boosted up by a Bloodlust and the Vengeance Aura is just almost impossible to deal with really. But now House of Gamers, their own 4th pick about to come. It really has to be 2 cores for House of Gamers as well, unless they want to run something like a Skyriff Mage mid, for example. Against Phantom Assassin, theoretically, it might not be the worst, just because you're gonna have a crazy amount of magical damage to deal with the Phantom Assassin. But Skyriff Mage mid is just so fragile, kind of, or it's a fickle thing. If it works out, it's fine, you snowball. If it doesn't, that hero is just like a support Skyriff.
I don't really think you're going to do that up against an Ogre Magi Vengeful Spirit. However, that roaming duo is just a little too dangerous for a Skyriff Mage to really deal with. And even the Ember Spirit, he's going to be under a lot of pressure if Ogre Magi and Vengeful Spirit are not showing on the map. And Phantom Assassin and Jakiro definitely can handle lanes by themselves, especially given the right circumstances. Even if Jakiro is going to be harassed a lot out of lane, Sand King more often than not wants to be chilling inside the jungle to get up his farm there, so that will give Jakiro a little bit of an opening, and Ogre and Magi and Vengeful Spirit an opening to look for a smoke.
So for House of Gamers, they do go for the Tidehunter now, but for Goomba, do you think that one of those 4 heroes that we are seeing is going to go into the mid lane, or are they still planning to pick up yet another hero to just go into the mid role?
I'm kind of feeling mid Phantom Assassin in this game. If Ember Spirit is going to be the matchup, that's definitely a matchup that Phantom Assassin is equipped to deal with and can do pretty well in it. So Goomba do have that option, although they could just pick up something else for the mid altogether entirely. So we'll just have to see. Right now, Goomba, their teamfight potential is not even close to House of Gamers. With Ravage as well as a Blinking Sand King, once they get the daggers for both of those heroes, their initiation edge is going to be huge. And I don't think there's a single pick that Goomba can select in order to remedy that fact. I would like to see Goomba maybe pick up something along the lines of a Batrider for themselves, just to make sure that they're able to take some portion of that team fight away, ideally killing the Ember Spirit.
Well, it would be awesome to just get the last one to Ember, and they should have plenty of physical damage just purely from the Phantom Assassin. At least once he has like at least 1 item. Even with a BKB, if you have that level 2 ultimate, you should have enough burst damage if you just get that 1 crit going. So we shall see. But Goomba, they do ban out a Morphling, so don't want to go up against the Tricore of Ember Tidehunter Morphling once again. It was pretty annoying to deal with already in the last game. House of Gamers themselves, though, banning out an Elder Titan. I guess if you would be completely just zeroed out on armor and then a little bit of minus coming out from the Vengeful on top of that, definitely wouldn't be the best place to be in as or against the Phantom Assassin. Although I really didn't expect an Elder Titan to be picked for Goomba.
It could have been pretty nice for them to bolster their damage potential and might have been their mid choice. Not my first pick either, but it's pretty scary. I don't know. would have made their damage potential pretty absurd, especially if you get like a multicast from the Ogre Magi. And the damage from Jakiro, it's a good mix of physical and magical damage, so Elder Titan could have fit well into Goomba's lineup, but whatever it is for them, it's going to be coming out quickly. As they only have 3 seconds to decide for it, it's going to be a Clinks.
Well, it's just extra physical damage, of course. Physical damage is the best way to deal with an Ember, and that's the Meepo for Excalibur. House of Gamers going for it in this last game. So they're going all out. I guess Goomba, they don't have like massively annoying things against the Meepo, but Clinks, for example, he has quite a lot of single target just focus fire. And Meepo, he's kind of weakest against that. You just kill off one Meepo and be done with it. Just get one stun on the Meepo, kill him off, and you might be fine. Same for the Phantom Assassin crits. Blur, also going to be excellent for Phantom Assassin against Meepo. You still will take damage from the poofs, of course, but at least the physical damage won't be as annoying to you.
Okay, so my thoughts on Meepo this game is that Goomba Gaming are really good at killing the Meepo, but Meepo's really good about killing the Phantom Assassin and the Clinks. So it's all about who gets the jump on who. If Meepo gets orchided by the Clinks or gets fire blasted up by the Ogre Magi, Meepo's screwed. There's actually just not really, what?
What? Okay, so House of Gamers, their last official member also arrived now or something. They've been slowly just trickling in their correct members. In the first game, we had a remake because a moment he was stuck in traffic before, so they got a stand-in. But once the draft ended, he arrived or something. And then I think Faith in Strangers came in for game number 2, and now we're gonna have yet another real member come in.
Oh joy. Well, I'm always psyched to see an Excalibur Meepo. It's always a lot of fun to watch. So even though it's not the best of games for Meepo, the physical burst coming out from the enemy team is actually quite insane, which is always, I don't know, really questionable when you have a Meepo choice. But still, I really want to see it work out for House of Gamers, and it's always kind of a risky choice, but I don't think it really matters for them. To be honest, Meepo, I don't think is pivotal to the rest of their heroes working together. Even if Meepo gets completely shut down, I think he's kind of a red herring. As long as Slash Strike gets a lot of farm on the Ember Spirit and Tidehunter gets a decently timed Ravage and Blink Dagger, I don't think it really matters.
So at the moment, Goomba, they're asking for Captain's Mode to be applied instead of the all pick because the creep spawns are a little bit different. They spawn a little bit earlier. So we'll see if the admin is going to put it on Captain's Mode or not. But in any case, you did mention that really Meepo is good at killing off Goomba, whereas Goomba is good at killing off the Meepo. And whoever gets the chump is going to just be better off. And it's highly likely that the chump should be coming out from House of Gamers with the just heroes that they have. Really, there's no Blink initiators. Maybe Clinks is going to build a Blink for Goomba, but that's about it. Or maybe Phantom Assassin is just gonna go in YOLO mode with the Phantom Strike, something like that. But I don't know. It's going to be a crazy game nonetheless, most likely.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah, and it is both of these teams fighting for their tournament life. It's not the biggest of tournaments, but this is the GG League, and if they do drop here, they're going to be out of it. And even though it's not a very long tournament, 1,500 for the first place team, it's pretty significant money if you're able to take that out in such a small such a small amount of time, I should say.
Yeah, it's definitely some nice money coming out. There are some decent teams in here, of course, as well. Although, unfortunately, Moscow 5, they gave out a death win, and I'm not entirely sure, but I think Moscow 5 might be disbanding. There was some kind of a post about it on some forums, but of course, it was all in Russian, so I have no clue what it said. I really hope that Moscow 5 isn't gonna disband, but we shall see. In any case, I'm just hoping now that everybody will pick up the correct heroes.
It should. Ogre Magi, Vengeful Spirit, Tidehunter, it's looking pretty good. Scarth Mage. The bans don't matter, which is why you see Night Stalker, Chaos Knight, Anti-Mage, Luna taken out of the pool. But either way, I think the story behind Moscow 5 is that they'll play as a team, except for one of their players is now not with them because of like internal struggles because of that, but they won't be Moscow 5 any longer. So you'll probably still be able to see Vigos and Blow Your Brain play, just not under that name.
Okay then, coolio, nice to know. So, it's still nice to see them play. I mean, it was a pretty nice team. Of course, there's a second Moscow 5 anyway, Moscow 5 International at the moment. They're probably going to continue under that name as well for some time. hopefully for them at least. But last bans coming out. Man, why you ban Lina, guys? House of Gamers, haters.
Absolutely. Clinks from Goomba, and hey, it's Meepo. No big surprises. It is going to be the same draft, and we're going to get into this game. Goomba, I'm not exactly sure why they want that extra time before the creep spawn. I think it's almost impossible, question mark, for them to go for a level 1 Roshan. I mean, it's not impossible. They could do it, although it's incredibly bad. Maybe that's exactly what House of Gamers aren't expecting, and maybe Goomba will be able to get away with it. I think they're not even going to try. Either way, we are going to get into this game, and I suppose we can introduce the players and what heroes they're playing on the House of Gamers side. On the Radiant, we're going to have a moment playing on the Sand King, Skyrath Mage, handled by Faith in Strangers, Slash Striker return performance on the Ember Spirit, Tidehunter by Follow SLHD, or just SLHD, I suppose, and Excalibur will be playing on his signature Meepo.
As for Goomba, Aramen playing the Vengeful Spirit, leaving Chill on the Chikiro, Kasha on the Ogre Magi, with Exist on the Phantom Assassin, and the last one will be Quicks on the Clinks, and they do smoke up, so they want to get an early first blood somewhere. Of course, if you ask for the Captain's mode, it's kind of obvious you want to go for some form of just rotation just through the enemy jungle, like do anything out of the ordinary. So I think House of Gamers, they should be on the lookout, and oh, they might get the Tidehunter. There's the Magic Missile first, Ignite to follow up as well, Dual Breath to slow him down, Kraken Shield is there, but it's not going to be enough on level 1. So that is the first blood for Gasha. And Tidehunter, I really thought he's just going to run back this way he came as well, just through these trees here. But he decided to go a little bit towards the bottom side, left and bottom. So that's an easy first blood for Goomba, really.
Yeah, and it's a nice hero to get it on, too. Like, Ogre Magi getting as fast as possible boots, as well as an Orb of Venom. You can really put a lot of hurt into the enemy team. And Gasha has both of those online. You can just put the beat down on even a Tidehunter, usually hard to zone out of a lane. This game is going to be an exception. It is going to be an aggressive trawling coming out from House of Gamers, but I think that's more or less just to dodge the enemy side. It is going to deny Sand King, however, of his jungle farm, unless he finds some really nice help from the Tidehunter, getting those extra stacks. Mid Meepo is going to be matched up against Phantom Assassin, which is a matchup that Meepo can do perfectly fine in, but then again, Phantom Assassin should as well. House of Gamers have a team that's very good about abusing the jungle. Excalibur, I expect him to be stacking up these side camps over the medium and large camp. Sand King should be able to farm stacks here, and then Tidehunter has his Ancients.
At the moment, already the first poof coming out from Excalibur as well. Rising Exist. Both of them did start with the Poorman Shield, so physical damage from each other is gonna be mostly negated, almost completely even. Gasha will come in with an Ignite, go smack Excalibur a little bit. Even a Stifling Dagger is there, only level 1 though, so the slow will last for that 1 second. But as he gets more points into Stifling Dagger, it gets more spammable, and of course more damage, more slow duration as well. Top lane Quicks, putting quite a hurt into Slash Strike with just those Searing Arrows, only level 1. But it's so painful, and it kind of forces Faith in Strangers to just come back towards the top lane.
Yeah, it really does. Even though Clinks is a capable offlane hero, not up against the stunning combination of House of Gamers. He's going to put one Searing Arrow into the Skyrath Mage, but Skyrath Mage will be able to maintain his distance even though he doesn't have boots. 325 movement speed is more than enough to keep out of way of the Clinks.
That movement speed is just way too fast in my opinion. It's just... Skyrath Mage, I really thought like if you nerf his movement speed rather than just his spells already, that might have been enough. But now, can they get RMN? If they get the Pyro Strike or Concussive Shot first, might be enough, but of course the moment doesn't have boots. Neither does the Vengeful though, so it's kind of non-meaningful. 2-minute rune though, gonna be camped out by Gasha. If he gets a haste or invis or something just sneaky like that, might be able to kill off Excalibur mid lane. And speaking of the mid laners, do you think Exist is building for a bottle on the Phantom Assassin, or what's the item build for a mid Phantom Assassin?
I assume it's bottle for him, and I assume it's bottle for Excalibur too. On a mid Meepo, it's pretty standard to see that. You can bottle up your Meepos, but up in top Magic Missile onto a moment, but he's able to disjoint that with the Sandstorm. I think he still took damage from the Magic Missile, but didn't get stunned. That was a very interesting interaction.
I think he was... I think he didn't take damage. I'm not entirely sure, but he got that Sandstorm off from a really short range. Usually you might not have the time to react if it's from that close of a range, but really nicely done from a moment. With that Magic Missile connecting, with the Fire Blast and Ignite to follow, maybe Sand King would have even died. Excalibur just stacking up the jungle as well in the meantime, using both of his meepos. So that's gonna be one thing that allows the meepo to just kind of snowball and pull ahead.
Yeah, and that's what you do on mid meepo. He's been able to successfully double stack all of the creep every time, except for the last one. The medium camp didn't get stacked up, but either way, it doesn't really matter for him. It's going to be a lot of gold income. Once meepo hits like level 5 or so is when you're going to want to start thinking about clearing those ones up. And he's able to maintain some decent farm in mid, although currently being doubled up in CS up against Exist. That's not the end of the world for meepo.
It's definitely not. And of course, top lane, it's tri-lane versus tri-lane now as well. Started with Ogre Magi being in the mid lane for some time at least. But Ember Spirit, he isn't getting much at all. If you're going for an aggressive tri-lane, usually you go for one if you know you're going to dominate it. But with this Sand King, not going to have the jungle to farm up just because meepo is most likely going to take all of it. Maybe he's kind enough to just leave all of those stacks to the Sand King, but that also just is bad on another side. But Spayfin's Rangers, he's going to lose his life on the top lane, or is he still burning down? There's the magic missile, they get the kill. Slash Strike will escape, of course, because there aren't any stuns left, but Sand King left and immediately they lose a hero there.
Yeah, and it's kind of the issue with House of Gamers Tri-lane. It's not incredibly self-sufficient. They kind of need everybody there to survive, and Ogre Magi, Venge, and Clinks, I would say, is the stronger lane, just because of the chain stun, the damage they're able to put out. It's problematic for House of Gamers. Currently, they're losing all 3 of their lanes, some more than others, but it's an advantage for Goomba nonetheless.
And bottom lane is well chill, although he's low on mana, though he's probably gonna die. There's the guys coming out, a moment is there, even in Excalibur, meepo is coming in. Burrow Strike, easy kill, but Shakiro, he's had a pretty good time anyway. He even pops the magic stick. It was kind of like, eh. But he does lose too much gold, manages to buy up quite a lot before, although he bought Blades of Attack. Is it really going to be face boost Shakiro?
I'm okay with this choice coming out from him, just given the laning stage, but after that death, it is going to be a little bit more questionable. You've already committed to 1, you might as well finish them up. At this point in the game, it's the most damage-efficient item that you can pick up for the gold, and it would help him dominate the Tidehunter pretty effectively. I think it's an okay choice, although unconventional. Gasha is going to look for Fire Blast on the SLHC, but can't find it up in top. A dive instead is going to happen. Or Armen looking for a TP out, he'll be able to make it, just barely as well.
That was such a questionable move. Of course, the last I saw of Slash Strike, he had like 200 HP remaining, something like that. So he thought he can go in, get the magic missile, get an easy kill. But Slash Strike went towards another direction, had a healing salve as well. So no easy kills there. Thank God he makes it out as well, so didn't give away anything. Excalibur in the meantime trying to farm up the jungle with the poofs. Not extremely successful quite yet, but we'll get them in the end. Drops low, but doesn't matter as long as he gets the last hits. So trying to catch up. Bottom lane, Akira completely just bullied out of the lane by Chill. And that's going to be a tier 1 down 6 minutes in.
Yeah, and that's kind of the strength of your Jakiro now with level 6 pointing to Macropyre as well as 3 into the Liquid Fire. His damage potential is quite honestly insane. Meepo is catching up a little bit in the mid lane, and I think that's the most even lane for House of Gamers if you compare the net worth of both Phantom Assassin and Meepo, not to mention their levels. But even so, it's not enough, and as soon as Excalibur goes back towards mid, he's going to be critted by the Phantom Assassin. I believe that was the dagger crit.
That dagger, it's so sick that they can crit, but Chill, he stuck around for way too long. They knew there was a Sand King with haste. 3 heroes coming, of course, maybe they can turn it around. Macropyre is there, but not on the same targets. They were focusing on different ones. A moment, gonna burn down, but there's Slash Strike as well coming in. And they're gonna get maybe even Akira down if Kasha gets another Fire Blast off. He's trying to choose targets, maybe Skyrife, maybe the Tide. So they get the Tide. In the end, it's gonna be 2 for 2 and not that bad considering that all of the heroes of House of Gamers came to the bottom lane at one time.
Yeah, it's still beneficial for House of Gamers, and it also is going to help Meepo get level 8 on top of that. He's starting to pick up quite a bit in this game. Now with 2.7 in the net, Meepo can look for kills pretty effectively and also farm jungle very easily with the maxed out poof, excuse me. And I think this is just going to be an Aghanim Scepter rush coming out from Excalibur this game. But no matter what it is, Excalibur is going to have quite a large impact. Let's see if it's going to be able to make up for the fact that the other lanes aren't doing very well. Even though Tidehunter hasn't gotten a lot of farm in bottom, just the bottle. They're going to look for a kill up top onto Kicks. They have to commit the Ravage for it, and they will. They should be able to kill him off. One more right click is more than enough, as he didn't even have mana to get off that Scout and Walk without popping the Soul Ring, which would have secured his demise either way.
Yeah, that was pretty huge, and really necessary kill for them as well to try to gain some momentum for themselves. Although kill score is 4 and 4, Goomba still definitely doing better in most lanes, and now Chill, he's arrived in the mid lane, level 4 liquid fire. This tower, House of Gamers, are they even going to try to defend? Ogre wanted to go for Faith in Strangers, but Skyraft just way too fast in just the movement speed, especially together with boots. Although Slash Strike might find himself surrounded eventually. Can he get the stun, or does he even have vision? Come on, go, Wave of Terror, stun, and follow up. No Ice Path though at the moment anyway. Maybe the tower is going to get denied. Yes, Skyraft Mage gets it denied. Hero deny. Slash Strike will get stunned first. There's the Fire Blast as well, but got the Ember. Never mind. Flame Guard not going to do anything. Exist came in as well. So tower does get denied, but they lose the Ember Spirit for it. It's not a worthy trade, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, I think Ember Spirit probably shouldn't have been inside the woods, but once he was there, there wasn't much that he could do about it. Excalibur is going to get one of his camps blocked by the Vengeful Spirit. It has been pinged out by the Venge, and they know exactly where Excalibur is because of it. Gives a slight amount of vision. Now Excalibur going to be able to net double poof onto RMN, dropping him low, but Excalibur gets multicast, and now crit by the dagger could do nothing.
Exist, he's pretty pro with those crits, and he's going for a Battle Fury by the looks of it. A little bit of a greedy build on Phantom Assassin, but if you get it early enough, your farm rate is going to be ridiculous. Plus, of course, if you crit and cleave with it, especially against the Meepo as well, just to be on the safe side, it can just end up making it a difference. And they all, wow, they get the tier 2 9 minutes in. That's just crazy. Although Quicks, his farm has been slowed down a little bit on the top lane with that one death on him, it's still, in general, just as a whole, going pretty good for Goomba.
Yeah, Goomba have a lineup that could, just out of nowhere, completely explode, but right now they just need more time before they can get that online. 20 seconds till they have a Ravage available, which is a nice tool, but they desperately need Blink Dagger on the Sand King. And Moment hasn't been able to farm up his jungle very effectively because Excalibur has been taking up all of that, and Goomba, these late wards, usually you don't see teams blocking up the jungle this aggressively, but I quite like the move. It's gonna really hurt House of Gamers' economy. If they had those camps, maybe we're looking towards the Blink Dagger and the Sand King. Maybe we're looking at more components towards an Aghanim Scepter for the Meepo, but without those, it's gonna be really hard. However, up in top, they're gonna kill off the Chikiro. Sand King brought down by one more Searing Arrow. Kick silenced up. Can't pursue as much as he'd like to on Faith in Strangers. Still might be able to get this kill. Slowed down by the Gush. Is moving at a literal crawl after the dust, but he still gets the double kill as he kills off the Tidehunter. They had to commit a Ravage for that kill, and it's going to favor them. And now the Meepo in mid dies to RMN as well as Gasha and Exist. Win after win for Goomba, even though they lose to Chikiro.
Chikiro got off his Macro Fire, as was a Liquid Fire, I do believe, before, so they had to use so much for the Chikiro himself. And then Clink, just beautiful turnaround. Too bad he was silenced, so he couldn't get another Searing Arrow into Faith in Strangers, but he's perfectly fine with getting a tower and 2 kills on top of that. Just win, epic winning all around. That's the first Oblivion stuff, and it's nice to see just that kind of old school Clinks going for that Orchid first. I've seen so many games where Clinks just go like Bloodstones and weird stuff like that. The Slash Strike, he gets critted once by Exist. Has a Remnant to escape most likely, although even the Remnant is just so slow thanks to that Stifling Dagger. And Exist, he already has the Claymore as well. He needs only another 560 gold to finish up a Battle Fury. Of course, he's going for it with just brown boots, but unless he dies now, he's going to get it so fast. But Kasha, he gets stunned up. So they get the kill onto the Ogre. He's pretty damn tanky, especially with the Magic Stick, but not going to make it out in the end.
Yeah, and I think even scarier is that Clinks at the top of the net worth chart is getting dangerously close to finishing up his second Oblivion staff, and is going to have a very fast Orchid. And this game, more than most, is going to mean that he's able to just assassinate heroes. Kicks. There's not a target on this map that's going to survive, and speaking of surviving, Excalibur's not going to be able to poof out, and RMN as well, as Chill are going to be able to find a very clean kill onto Excalibur's Meepo. Just hasn't been able to find anything out of this map. 0, 3, and 2. And Skyrath Mage as well. Goomba pickoff after pickoff. Kicks is able to secure that kill. House of Gamers are just too squishy.
Exist. He's on the hunt as well with the haste room, but everybody's TPing out, or everybody in their right mind at least. And bottom lane, since they got the kill onto the Meepo, suddenly Chill, he's there with the level 4 Liquid Fire, of course, which he's had for quite some time. Going for the tier 2 push. A TP is coming in from Excalibur. Maybe can get a surprise jump, but although he had all those stacks to farm up, he's just died a couple too many times for them to actually make a difference by now. At least he has the free Meepos, but no Blink, no Aghanims yet. He just doesn't have the jump power to actually assassinate people by himself yet. At the moment though, he's just farming up the enemy jungle at this point, just safest place to be.
Yeah, at this point in the game, you'd like to have at least one and be thinking about your third component of that Aghanim Scepter. Or at least two and be thinking about the third, excuse me. And Excalibur just isn't able to find that farm. HoG don't have the tools that they need to fight. Sand King still stands Blink Dagger, and that's going to be a very late one at that. And Goomba are running this map where I didn't think they'd be able to. Even though Phantom Assassin has a Battle Fury, even the PA is going to be able to have a large impact in this game.
Oh god, 13 minutes Battle Fury. Power Threads, or whatever boots he wants to go for, will shortly follow, most likely. As Slash Strike is going to scout out Roshan with a Remnant, leaves it there, but Quicks is coming in. Nobody picks up a double damage Remnant, but oh, Faith in Strangers, poor guy, Fire Blasted up. Quicks doesn't have the strafe, but there's the Mystic Flare as well. He might lose his life. Yes, there's the Ravage. He's going to go down. Araman tries to swap out Kasha, but in the end, that's going to just mean both of them will die, I think. A low Slash Strike. There's the Fire Blast. They get the kill. And now Akira, he has nothing left. No mana for the Anchor Smasher. Never mind, he has one. But that's about it. Araman, a little bit too low on mana for the Magic Missile. And what? They kill off a Meepo as well. That's... How do they do this?
I don't know, Meepo, when you're in the behind, or starting out on the back foot, rather, it's kind of hard to get back up if the enemy team is diligent about blocking off your jungle, and he has to farm in some really dangerous places to try to get back into this game, but he just hasn't been able to find anything. Goomba, they lose their Clinks, but they take 3, and that's kind of the story of this game. Even when they're losing something, they're still getting a better trade somewhere else on the map.
And now, that's going to be a Roshan as well. Even Quicks makes his way there. If he gets there, does he have the Orchid already? No, it's just a Medallion of Courage flying out for Araman. But more minus armor means faster Roche. Thank God for House of Gamers at the moment. Has himself a blink, and that's the epicenter. They're going to go for chill. He doesn't have a Yule Scepter, that's the Mystic Flare as well, so they get a clean pick of top lane. Tier 1 probably to follow as well. It's a pretty solid trade for House of Gamers for that Roshan.
It is, but it's not enough. They need more than that, and this Aegis on the Clinks is going to be so scary because even though he didn't have the Orchid before that Roshan, he's going to have Treads, Aquila, Soul Ring, and Orchid done at about 15 minutes if he gets that delivered to him now. Clinks is incredibly scary, even though it's not the fastest Orchid you've ever seen. That's because he has gone for so many intermediary items, and it hasn't slowed down the Orchid significantly.
Yeah, that's Yule Scepter onto the Shakira as well, so Yule Scepter into Ice Path is guaranteed to catch everybody on House of Gamers. They don't have a puck. And oh, Kasha finds the Fire Blast onto Excalibur, no multicast. Ignite to follow, going for the poof out and will succeed. Still dropping dangerously low, of course, there. Orchid done now. This game is getting extremely hard for House of Gamers, but they have the double blink. They will find Quicks as well with this. Do they have enough stuns though? There's the Orchid onto Faith in Strangers, and Skeleton Walk might even be, or make him fast enough. A moment, another Burrow Strike, one more second Quicks. He's probably gonna lose his life here. Yep. But that's just the Aegis, and will the Ogre Magi be able to help out? No, never mind. It's against 3 heroes. Quicks, he's completely surrounded. Make it 4 heroes, not 3. And they're gonna go for Kasha as well. Blink, Burrow Strike. So if they get 2, just pretty damn good, just ganking, or I don't know what you can even call this.
Yeah, and Excalibur's starting to catch up. Goomba, even though they're still leading this game, they can't become complacent, and they can't let House of Gamers abuse this map. The Blink Dagger coming up from the Sand King has been really impactful, and now Excalibur stalking chill in mid. Without any backup and without any way to open up onto the hero, it's unlikely they'll be able to get that kill, and instead we'll just farm up the middle lane. This is House of Gamers with about a 5,000 gold deficit and about 1,500 experience deficit, but then again, you look at the towers, a lot of them have been taken by Goomba. Up and top, stuns on the chill. They might be able to kill off the Shakiro very easily, but Slash Strike stunned inside the Macropyre is going to be forced to remnant away. Will he survive? He will end up burning down to the Shakiro's looking for Arman, netted down to the ground. It's going to be Excalibur to get the double kill, however, so this time it's House of Gamers to get a beneficial trade, and Excalibur's catching up admirably, now having the completed Aghanim Scepter at 17 minutes after the start that he had, going for Bottle and Power Treads. This is a decent timing.
He's suddenly number 2 in net worth, almost gonna overtake the Phantom Assassin already. That's just Goomba really making unnecessary mistakes. They've lost 2 heroes now, twice in a row, without really getting any trade-off from that. I don't know, they just got way too sloppy. They had such a great start, but it's almost negated. XP is zeroed out. Gold, they still have a lead, but that's just purely towers.
Yeah. Even though experience is zeroed out, you have to keep in mind that this is a Meepo. He's level 14, and then 2 of his zeros on his team are level 8, Ember Spirit and Scarth Mage. Although Scarth can do just fine without levels, Ember Spirit really needs a little bit more than what he's getting now, but Slash Strike is going to have a little bit of room to work with once they start finishing off a couple of these team fights. And up in top, if Jakiro shows his face, he might... Never mind, Clinks assassinates a Meepo in mid. Well, that just happened. They were looking to set up a kill onto the Jakiro up top with the other 2 Meepos, but it didn't matter. Clinks with the Orchid. Very strong. Ember Spirit down in bottom. Stunned up by the Ogre Magi, but they get the silence and gotcha as well as the Mystic Flare just on the edge, only catching the Ogre Magi. It's going to be a pickoff for House of Gamers in return.
Still, Meepo down. It was just a clear Orchid into right clicks. That's all that happened. Stifling Dagger, of course, helped out from the Phantom Assassin. And now Exist cleans up, I think, a quad stack of Ancients as well. Gonna have the Morbid Mask. Would have wished he had it before starting to clear those Ancients, but it's still gonna be fine for him. Going for the Helm of Dominator. Just gonna be able to dominate the creep far or stack even more Ancients. And that's just suddenly gave him about 1000 gold, maybe a little bit extra. Can they find Faith in Strangers? Don't think they're gonna be fast enough. They're under a sentry as well, so Quicks is spotted out. And what's Clinks' next item? Is it a BKB or does he just go for pure damage?
BKB. I don't think there's a better option. This game, it's pretty mandatory up against House of Gamers. The Tidehunter in and of himself kind of forces you to go for it, but up against Meepo, Sand King, Scarth Mage, if he goes for anything other than that Black King bar, I think it's a mistake. Blink Dagger maybe, but let's see. Excalibur Yule's up. He's in a heap of trouble. Macropyre Ice Path now going to be eaten into by Kicks. He boofs in one of his Meepos to try to do as much damage as possible before he dies. It doesn't even matter. Blink Bro Strike. They catch Jakiro on the backlines, but in moments without any backup, the Scarlet Mage is way too far away, and he's going to be killed off by Kicks. One more auto attack is all that he needs, juking through the woods. They do have vision of this Clinks, and he will be able to drop a Mystic Flare, doing a lot more damage, and that's a beautiful turn by the Scarlet Mage, even though it cost him his life. That could have gone so much worse for House of Gamers. Very well played by the Scaraf.
Yeah, extremely well done. He survived with like, what, 48 HP? They might even get more chill. He's not in the clear quite yet. Blink. They get the gush, but a moment wasn't willing to follow up with his own blink. Maybe yeah, it was on cooldown still. A little bit unfortunate, but just killing off the Clinks, or rather Clinks running into that. It was rather obvious what's gonna happen if he goes in there, to be honest. Just maybe he didn't expect Sand King or Tidehunter to follow up. But still the kill of the Meepo, so as long as they keep the Meepo at bay, it's still gonna be fine for them because Phantom Assassin keeps on farming.
Yeah, and this Phantom Assassin is getting very scary. Helm of Dominator, 1200 gold on top of that. Even though Meepo is looking to make a comeback in this game, after getting picked off once, it's just so hard for Excalibur to maintain this. But he will be able to get a kill on Nagasha very easily. Chain netting him down, poofing around. It's going to be a very easy pick off on the Ogre Magi. You can't really push solo as an Ogre Magi up against a Meepo, and that's kind of why. Mechanism picked up by the Jakiro. There's still the risk that Meepo could get off to a snowball, but this is a time where Excalibur really wants to start running the pace of the game, but it's Goomba to have that at their side. Let's see. They have the Ravage, they have their Blink Epicenter, and House of Gamers are going to look for an engagement. They found Kicks up top, dusted up, chain down to the ground. The chain actually misses. He's going to eat into a moment, but doesn't do enough damage. Another clean pick off onto the Clinks, and he's just died one too many times, 6-5 and 2.
So he's more or less once again tied up with Meepo. Of course, Meepo still doesn't have the Blink Dagger, but once he gets that, he can just really go on anybody. And oh, thank God Exist had the haste rune. Yule Scepter, Ice Web, waiting for the Sand King now. Macropyre as well, a Stifling Dagger, and that's gonna be the kill onto a moment. Exist, can they go for more? Never mind, everybody has backed off far enough. So they get the counter. They lose the Vengeful Spirit as well though. But Blink on Excalibur now. This is really gonna have to be the item for them. They have the triple Blink now. How much can they just accomplish with this?
Yeah, we'll have to see. Right now, this is go time for Excalibur. He's right where he wants to be as far as net worth is concerned. He might be able to have gotten a little bit more in another game, but considering he's died 6 times, getting Blink Dagger and Aghanim Scepter at like 21.5 minutes is a valiant feat, and Excalibur is going to be pretty comfortable with how he's doing. But we'll have to see if this is going to be the turning point. As you said, this is where House of Gamers need to turn up the aggression and look for kills. They have an Ember Spirit that they can fall back on in the late game decently well, but Slash Strike's going for a Scotty, and his immediate impact is going to be heavily delayed.
It's nice to have a Scotty, but first of all, you don't get that great of a farming speed from it. Plus, he's going to get that item as well pretty damn late. Does get the Remnant out. Quicks, his TP was scouted, I think they saw him coming in. Had he been able to pop the Orchid, would have been a guaranteed kill even through the Flame Guard, I think. But not to be, so people just keep on farming. We have had quite a lot of kills, to be honest, as it is. 36 kills, 22 minutes in. Not too shabby at all. Roshan is gonna respawn soonish. Maximum 3 minutes from now. We'll see what the actual timer will be.
Yeah. Right now, they're potentially looking for a little bit of pickup on top. Excalibur's main Meepo is with the rest of his team, where he has 2 squads of his other 2 Meepos farming up the jungle, as well as pushing down bottom, splitting up the map and making good usage of that map space that Excalibur has. This is really when Meepo really needs to start snowballing, since he does have all of his max Meepos, and although items on top of this are nice, it's not nice enough. Vengeful Spirit down in bottom is going to die, but now Blink forward by Exist, looking to get a kill on the SLHD, is going to commit to Ravage, and now Meepo is going to join this fray on top of it. Actually, no, poofs out all of his Meepos. He's going to leave tied into his own devices. Force Staff trying to TP out, going to be denied by Yule Scepter into Ice Path by the Jakiro, and they'll be able to kill off SLHD and Ravage on cooldown. It's quite a significant win for Goomba. The Vengeful Spirit also died, but that was beforehand.
Vengeful Spirit pretty much acted as tactical bait, I guess. I didn't even realize they still had the tier 1 there for the supports to just, or not supports, but the assistants to TP to. I really thought that he just farmed in a horrible position, but it worked out well for them, and I just reloaded our Phantom Assassin. He got the crit of the Stifling Dagger, Phantom Strike, and the immediate crit as well to follow up on the Skyriff Mage, and just really one right-click death. And he is almost gonna have his BKB. Aramin comes to the top lane to try to slow down the push, and is even gonna succeed with this. But now, Quicks, he's on the hunt as well, has his own Blink Dagger on the Clinks. Maybe if he goes in solo, he might still get screwed over by just all the Meepos blinking on him or coming onto him with the poof. So we'll see if Quicks is gonna overextend or not.
No, this is really risky by the Clinks. I think it's okay to go for the Blink Dagger, but there's just not a clean opening. BKB, I was kind of hoping that would be his item of choice, but Phantom Assassin has one, so at least Goomba have one of their carries that's going to be able to survive pretty much indefinitely inside the team fights because of the 50% dodge chance coming out from the PA. Meepo is not going to be able to do enough damage unless he has all 5 Meepos attacking the Phantom Assassin, which is pretty unlikely with the positioning tools coming out from Exist, most namely the Blink Strike.
If you go for a Monkey King bottom Meepo, it only affects that one Meepo,
yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a pretty crappy item on him.
Yeah, you're not going to go for a Monkey King bar, even though it would be almost necessary. Well, we do have an Ice Path Macropyre. They catch out a moment. He is going to be able to Burrow Strike, and Chill's taking too much damage, even with just 2 Meepos attacking him. Defensive swap coming in from Vengeful Spears. They open up a Slash Strike, Orchid it down. Now Excalibur is going to fall as well. Just can't do anything about that. And it's going to be clean kill. It's going the way of Goomba, even though the Jakiro drops low. Nobody actually falls.
That Yule Scepter onto Sanking came out immediately. I think they had vision of him and they just pre-targeted the Yules. And now Faith in Strangers, he's going to get Phantom Strike in 2 seconds. Never mind, the silence is there. They don't see a moment because they lack the gem. Quick still is going to keep on going. 4 step forward from Akira. Blinks out himself. So they make it out. But the 2 kills will be just plenty for them. And they're going to go scout out Roshan now most likely. Exist, he can really even solo it with his lifesteal.
Pretty much. And well, even if they bring in like the Clings, it's just going to come in even faster. The Mayan Summer from the Medallion, as well as from the Wave of Terror. Now straight Roshan didn't stand a chance.
And looks like it exists going for that casual, not casual, but the standard basher to follow up. Just BKB basher is something that almost every Phantom Assassin goes for.
Definitely, and I think it's a good choice this game. After going for the BKB, I'm not sure there's really any more defensive items that Phantom Assassin needs, so just go for something a little bit more hard-hitting. And Exist is going to be hitting very quickly with both the Bloodlust as well as with the Blink Strike.
Top lane though, Ogre is going to be in trouble. There's the first Earthbind, misses somehow. Multicast came from Gacha, but of course he knew there's no escape. But Quicks, he might get the counter kill. Excalibur, never mind, Blink forward, and well, Ogre kill suddenly not worth it for the Meepo. Mid lane though, they get the jump onto Chill, they're gonna get the Jakiro as well. So I guess the trade-off overall is better for them unless Exist. Is he gonna come in like a madman, just go in, berserking, never mind, just onto the creeps.
Yep. For now, it's going to be just a little bit of passivity coming out from both sides. Since the tier 2 tower has already been taken in mid, Goomba don't really have a reason to stay around here, but up in top kicks. Does have an Orchid in tow. Doesn't catch out a moment, but if he really wanted to, and knew that it was just these two supports, he might have been able to go aggressively. He's going to open up in the Scarlet Mage, then Orchid up the Sand King. He silenced up himself. The Scarlet Mage is still going to fall, and now a moment in a bit of a pickle. He's going to channel the Epicenter, looking for the turnaround on the kicks, but with the extra movement speed coming up from the Skeleton Walk and the Force Staff missing from the Sand King, it's going to do nothing, and Kix survives cleanly.
That was such a beautiful play from the Klink chest. Going for the Scarlet Mage and immediately silencing up the Sand King. If there had been a Burrow Strike, that would have just meant the Mystic Flare to follow up as well. So he prevented that from happening, got the kill onto Scarlet Mage. Got it somewhat lucky, maybe last right click in before having to actually start running towards the Scarlet Mage as well. But really well played. That's going to be his Miffle Hammer, so only a recipe short of that BKB. Although Excalibur, he's going to have a try at Klinks, never mind. Quicks blinks out in time. Bottom lane Gasha, he's going to creep skip or try to just scout somebody out. But looking at the graphs now, they haven't really gone too steeply towards the side of Goomba, at least not for net worth. And there's the burst second to Gasha. Excalibur comes in, but so does Exist. Can he burst the Meepo down? Doesn't get too many crits, at least not yet, but there's a huge cleave. He's going to get Excalibur. My freaking god. And Ember Spirit dies at the same time as a moment does blink out. Macropyre was just an inch off target. But Exist, he didn't even lose ages. He wasn't even close to losing it.
No, and Phantom Assassin, all it takes is one crit. Even without it, he might have been able to kill off the Meepo, but potentially could have lost his Aegis beforehand. Didn't matter. As long as you get one, Excalibur is probably going to fall unless he has something to poof out to and nobody disable those poofs, and that's unlikely. I don't know, Goomba looking incredibly strong and well equipped to even start pressuring the high ground. House of Gamers don't really have anything left in the tank except for a Ravage in order to contest against this, and Meepo, although he has buyback, doesn't want to spend it. This is probably a 2-3 tower going, but they're going to jump into Exist, but in the meantime, Blink at the backlines from Kix obliterates the Skywrath Mage. Is not going to go for anything else. The tier 3 tower is looking all the more juicy. Swap onto the Sand King. Our men in a bit of a sticky situation now, caught between a couple too many enemy heroes, but not as bad as a moment as he gets brought down. Ravage onto nothing but the BKB. Phantom Assassin as well as the Ogre Magi. They'll be able to bring down Ogre Magi with Excalibur. Let's see if the crits come out. There's one from Exist, and Excalibur is going to fall. He has buyback and probably needs suspended, but the barracks are already down. Now focusing Slash Strike, he's critted. Now SLHD going to suffer a similar fate. That's the triple kill for Exist. Constantly netted in the ground by Excalibur. He can't go into that. If he goes into that, he dies. So just being a little cheeky. He is going to be critted down. That's a double kill. Why did you go in, Excalibur? That was a dieback? No, it wasn't, but he doesn't have buyback gold anyway.
Oh, it was a dieback from the Meepo. So
Okay.
that's just horrible. I have no idea what he was thinking. And when he first jumped in near the racks, there was still racks here. So that just meant there was this little opening where they could fight, and all of the Meepos got Ice Path, plus I think 2 extra heroes as well. And also all of them in cleave range. Just not a good place to jump into, really. Ravage, it only caught the Ogre Magi, and well, I guess the BKB Phantom Assassin, so you can't really call it catching him. But that's 2 racks ahead. Thank god for House of Gamers that the tier 2 is still standing. But this game, I'm not sure if there's a way to come back. I guess with a Meepo, he can maybe just do something huge. A moment goes in with the Burrow Strike, but Exist, he still has the Aegis. Are you kidding me? Ice Path into a moment, Quicks blinks in aggressively. The Mystic Flare doesn't do anything. This game just... I mean, Goomba, if they don't win this game, I'm just gonna be... I don't know. Just...
Yeah. This isn't like game 2, where there's a Medusa to fall back on that has truckloads of farm. Their Ember Spirit has nothing. He has half of a Scotty, which isn't going to push up against those mega creeps, even though they're not the supersized creeps, because the tier 2 tower still stands top. Doesn't matter, and Meepo's not a hero that really wants to be behind at this point, and if he is, getting back into the game is almost impossible. It's going to take nothing short of a miracle coming out from House of Gamers, and with the Black King Bar and the Clinks and the Phantom Assassin, that miracle is going to involve Goomba, I don't know, having a seizure or not being able to press that button.
That's probably what it's going to come down to as well. And Exist, man, Sacred Relic on him, has the Basher on the Dead Courier, a little bit unfortunate, but man, he's just hurting for so much as it is, especially if the Vengeance Aura level 4 is around him as well. The first Earthbite comes out, but he doesn't care, he's just gonna right click at the racks anyway.
Well, jump in. They're going to be able to focus down the Phantom Assassin with no Aegis. Now they go into Arman. Arman to fall, but Klinks is able to clean up the Scarth Mage first. Now going to the Titan after the Meepo is going to die. SLHG gets up the Ravage, but with no follow-up. Slash Strike just not doing enough damage, and it's the Klinks to really be the one to clean house. Now double Burrow Strike. It's going to be pretty good coming out from the Sand King, but now with the multicast on the Slash Strike, he'll be forced to Remnant away. Everybody's low, but buyback from the bench. Looks like Goomba want to end this and end this now.
A little bit weird that Phantom Assassin isn't also buying back if they're wanting to go for that, but he wouldn't have Boots of Travels, which Araman somehow does on the Vengeful. And there's the Yule Scepter, Ice Path to follow on to Sand King. They're gonna get a moment as well. He has buyback, but can he defend Rax? There's no epicenter for them. They did a really good job blowing up the Phantom Assassin before the BKB to be honest, but there's the silence coming in from Quicks. Akira, SLH set is there, but there's the Slash Strike, gonna get stunned up, taken down. They can just go for kills and get Rax.
Yeah, why not? That's mega creeps, and I don't think there's a way that they're going to be able to come back for this, and I think even if they win a fight, it doesn't matter. Chill, going to be Mystic Flare. They'll get the Jakiro down, but now a moment going to be focused into Slash Strike. Has no items after buying back and is trying to kill off this Ogre Giant. They just need a little bit more. The Gust from the Tidehunter is going to be enough, and the Poofs. Excalibur's able to kill off the Vengeful Spirit, or yeah, the Vengeful Spirit. It lands, clicks down. He doesn't have any lifesteal and probably is going to die as well, but invised up. They don't have any detection, and Kicks, he's living.
How? Why? Why House of Gamers? Why? But it's GG called. They're going for one more fight as Exist is coming in as well on the Phantom Assassin. Is he going to get a huge crit? SLHG makes it out. There's the Typhling Dagger, Liquid Fire as well. Excalibur doesn't stand a chance. Stand up as well. Even Chill survives somehow, barely. And that's GG.
No big surprises there. Goomba, they take it 2-1, and this game not as close as game number 2, which is unfortunate. I was hoping that Excalibur's Meepo would be able to pull through, but it just seemed that they had all of the tools that they needed to really take this game, and the BKBs on their cores were pretty damning.
They definitely were, guys. So this is going to conclude it for us for the day. We're going to be back tomorrow, I do believe, also at 14:30 CT with another game of this league, which is going to be, I'm going to say in just a second, most likely Europe versus Section 80. I have no idea what Europe B, I don't know how you even pronounce that, but in any case, we're going to be back tomorrow at 14:30 CT. I do believe we also have a game at 20 CT for the BOC or 17 CT, either or. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the cast as well as the games. And that's gonna be it for today. If you like the cast, you can always follow us for more content on our social media. Facebook as well as twitter.com/HeflaTV is where we're gonna be posting the news about when we're going live, on what channels, at what times. And if you want to follow the casters, it's at Coucher for me, at GrandisV for my co-caster, and any last words?
No, really, thanks for watching, and hope to see you on some future broadcasts. It is 17 CET on hitbox.tv/HeflaTV HB1 for Battle of Central Europe, if you are interested in following that tournament.
So yeah, tomorrow more Dota to come. We're also gonna keep you just updated on our social media anyway, so easiest way to know when we're live is checking us out there. So guys, that's it. Just a few songs to finish the stream, and have a good one.